Well, hello everyone. It is Wednesday. Welcome to the Unreal Stories with Jeremy Kubicek. Hello, Jeremy.
Hello, Tracy. Good to see you. Happy birthday, by the way, for those who don't know. Tracy is the big 30 years old.
That'd be lovely. Yeah, I don't mind saying my age. I'm
How old are you?
I'm 50.
50.
I
Yes.
know, came really fast.
I can't believe you made it.
I know. You're just right around the corner. I mean, a big
Yeah.
corner, but I try
Well,
and
that's almost a year from now, but that's right.
whatever makes me feel good. Well, what's new in 2021 for you? Anything?
Oh, I am, of course, all types of new things. Always something new, which is makes life fun, right? So,
Yep.
no, super excited. I'm super excited about uh, the influence, the liberation in the midst of chaos of 2020 and 2021. I'm very, very bullish, not in economy and this kind of, I'm just bullish in life.
Mm.
And I think of it's all perspective. It's how you choose to live your life. And so I'm choosing this year for being positive. I'm choosing to liberate. I'm choosing to empower people. I'm choosing to start things. So my whole thing is like, you know this, Tracy, create content, build businesses, impact people. And I'm super excited about what's going on with Giant and all the things that I'm involved in. So, and I'm excited for today's story.
I am
You ready
too.
for this one?
I am. I'm getting off here, and so you can have the full.
Okay, here we go. Well, again, I hope that these are interesting and fun for you. Unreal stories, because they are just kind of like, huh? Did these things really happen? And they did, and I have people that can attest to them. Today's Unreal story is really close to heart, like all of them have been. But this one has to do with my family and my family's farm. In fact, I'm gonna show a picture, Tracy. I've just decided if I found one, I'm gonna show a story here if I can. Not that one. I'm gonna show a different one. So if I can show this and hang with me as I pull up another one. I just killed those, so we'll come back to that. But basically, this is a little picture of my family farm. And the story that I'm going to tell comes from this today. And this, I'll come back to that. That is my great grandfather who moved from Prague, Czechoslovakia to Prague, Oklahoma, right? It's really original. Czech community to a Czech community. He was coming from Prague and just at the turn of the century and basically was going to Ellis Island and they were closed. Too many people, too many immigrants. So they shipped them all the way around to Galveston and they started infilling the middle of the land. That's why you have so many places in the middle of America like Kremlin, Oklahoma, Berlin, Oklahoma, Prague, Oklahoma, which is Kremlin being Russian, Berlin, Prague. All of those were immigrants and they were mostly farmers and they just came and established the farm belt that is the middle of America. And so this is Frank Kubicek. And so, major part of my life. And obviously this is not a picture. This next picture is a picture of, let's see if I can get the next picture here, Tracy. If I can scroll. For some reason it's not letting me. So I'll stop sharing that one. And basically, I have a picture of my dad on a combine that I'll show you. This is a really cool story, and I'll keep telling you this story. But this is my dad, Mike Kubicek. You can't really see him on there, but this is, goodness, there it is. So that's him on, back on the combine. And this is called Ekentucky, Oklahoma. It was the line between the Seminole and Potawatomi Indians, and so it's a good sized farm in the central part of America. And I grew up in the town, and then I grew up on the farm, and I worked here constantly. So thank you. You can stop sharing that, Trace. But that's just a little bit about the story I want to tell. So my great grandfather had 4 kids. My grandfather was the 1, 2, 3rd, and so he, or the second, third, and he ends up having kids, and my dad was the second, and out of those four. And then it's kind of, how it goes, it progresses. Well, my great grandfather was the main farmer. My grandfather ends up taking over the farm, and my dad's taking over the farm. I'm not a farmer. That's the only problem. As I don't think I'm disappointed in my parents, but I definitely don't have that in me. But I am a farmer, and that I help and do a lot of the work. So growing up on the farm and working as much as we did, we had soybeans and peanuts and corn and alfalfa and wheat. And so we'd have to move irrigation pipe. I'm an only child too, so I don't have a lot of help on the farm with my dad. He didn't have a lot of help, let's just say. And especially with my bad attitude in the early teenage years. And then I finally got my act together and became a good hand. And then have since been farming with my dad every year, planting, harvest. And wheat harvest is usually starts June 11th. And it lasts through, back in the day, it used to last 2-3 weeks. But with technology, you can get a lot done. And sometimes it's 7 to 10 days. You can get all of the wheat harvested before any rain or what have you. My dad is a progressive farmer. He's very, very technologically savvy in farming. He's brilliant at understanding what and when, and his crops yield. He just does a great job on understanding the science, but behind, which grain we're going to plant, which product, and understanding watering and understanding just the dynamics of fertilization and what has to happen when. We also, at our farm, we're known for the ecology part of it is that we do no-till drilling. So we don't drill and till the land. So we punch the seed into the ground. So we could be harvesting in a combine in one day, and the next day we could actually be, the same day we could be planting. You can plant right behind a harvester when you don't have to till. So it's just a fascinating part of my life. And again, those who know me know that it is a definite part. And so what I've done, in fact, I'm going to show you a video. If you've never seen what it looks like to plant wheat, then I'm going to show you what that looks like right here. And I keep saying the wrong things. Harvest wheat. So here's what harvesting looks like. Let's see if you can share this screen, and I'll push play and see if it works. Again, thanks for putting up with me here. So there you go. So that was just an example of cutting wheat. And so we've just done this forever. So it usually happens June 11th. You get the trucks ready. You get everything ready. My dad and I, we have kind of a rhythm of what needs to be clean, getting all the wheat trucks ready to go to town, making sure the tires are set, batteries are in. And we had 2 combines for a period of time. And one of the combines we'd use for parts sometimes, and sometimes we'd both run them side by side. Well, I think this year was 1991. And my dad was... I think he was helping some neighbors cut even before we started on our own. And then our combines started having issues, there's always breakdowns. And so all of a sudden, they started breaking down. We're like, are you kidding me? Well, we were losing time because you need to get the wheat cut before July 4th to be able to plant the next crop. And then there's a threat of rain and all those things that come in. So, and then the longer that once the wheat's ready, you need to cut it, because the longer that it's not ready, it actually starts losing value. And so, come to find out, everyone else was finishing, all our neighbors were finishing, and we couldn't even get started. Our combines wouldn't work. We had to take them in. We had all these issues. Both combines were down. We finally got one, the lesser combine, running and up and running. And so I was... we were looking at the weather forecast, and it was 3 days of rain, and it was miserable. And we were kind of depressed and down, like, what in the world? This is going to slow us down. It's going to hurt. This is going to cost a lot of money. We're going to be way behind. So I'm trying as much as possible in this lower combine, and I'm down here. We name all of our fields. So I was down in the low bottom, down by the river, and low bottom is just, we know what that means. And so we have places like South Vietnam, North Vietnam. We know what that means. We have Franks, Marianne's, Pecan Grove, double K, all these different terms. And so we were down on the low bottom cutting, and and we had walkie-talkies back in the day. And in the walkie-talkie, my dad was like, "Son, come here now. Come here now. You'll never believe this." So I pull out of the field, and what was happening was all of the neighbors got wind of our situation. And I need to honor Mike Kubicek, which is my dad. He's one of the best farmers there is, and he's just a great neighbor, and he's always helping people, and he'll serve them, and he'll go above and beyond if they need something, and everyone knows it. And he's just known as a great person, a great farmer, and he keeps the farm immaculate. He even mows the bar ditches, he and my mom. And the joke is he wants the weeds to be so low so the crops look higher. All right. So anyway, so he says, "Come, if you get here as fast as you can." So I pull out on one field, and I'm coming down the road. And as I was coming down the road, I saw, and it was amazing, I saw this line of combines and trucks, and they were coming from all over the region, our area, all of our neighbors, and Billy and Jackie and Harold, all these different people, friends of my dad's, all got together and said they'll come help Kubiceks because they knew it was down. And 4 combines are coming down the road. Now, 4 combines are big. I mean, it takes the entire road, and I don't know, half mile of semi trucks behind them. And all of their crews and all of their help and all of our neighbors came, and it was powerful. I mean, I'll never forget seeing my dad tearing up with just inspired and thankful. And I'm in the tractor tearing up, and I'm trying to join in. And so we basically go into our fields and start just killing it, start taking out all of it, harvesting all of it. If you imagine 5 combines and all these trucks of what you can get down, we were having to make sure that everyone's safe because there was so much activity happening in these fields, and we were just knocking them out field by field. And we got our entire wheat harvest finished, wrapped up, and done, all because of some neighbors. So I'll show you the other picture of what that might look like. I don't have a picture of it because I didn't think at the time. I didn't have a camera to take a picture of it. But this is what it would look like to have 5 combines in a field. So you can imagine the swaths that you can take, that you can imagine how easy it would be to get a lot done, right? That's what took place. It looked like, again, this was not it, but you just, all of a sudden, everyone's pitching in, and you're taking out, and you're working on these semis, and people are going to town, and they're loading as fast as possible. And just the act of helping other people. So here's the leadership lesson here. Being a neighbor means that you take time to intentionally think about the other person. Being a good leader means that you think about taking the time to think about the other person. Where are they at? What do they need? How can you support? What can you do to help them? Now, my dad had been doing that for so long that when he was in time of need, they came and helped us. And again, that one day, they were able to do what would have taken us, a week to 10 days to finish. And in this case, they were thinking more about us than they were themselves. So the platinum rule, you've heard me say this a lot. I really am a big fan of the platinum rule. Do unto others as they would want done to them. Not just what you would want. Do unto others what you would want done. Well, most of those guys would want that to happen to them too. So the golden rule applied and the platinum rule applied. But to do what others need means that you have to intentionally think about them. I found that most leaders are really great people. Most leaders are very conscientious, but they're oftentimes not thinking about other people in the way of intentional living and intentionally helping. So it's accidental. When you're accidental, you miss those opportunities. We've had a number of people in our life and a number of friends. I have one friend in particular right now. He knows what I need. It's almost uncanny. He'll send a text or he sends a Slack, and he's sending it from Scotland. and he'll send this just little reminder, little encouragement. And it's almost exactly what I need because he's been thinking about me. So he's intentionally thinking. When you intentionally think about people, you actually start understanding what they need when they need it, and then you provide support. You just might give that little extra. I have another friend whose name's Kevin Weaver, and Kevin actually looks at people's Facebook picture, or if he's thinking of someone, or if he has a meeting with them, he'll look at their face in order to connect with them before he has the meeting. So he'll look at their face to go, okay, what's Jeremie doing? And it helps him connect even more and to be in their world. So you've heard that phrase, walk a mile in their shoes. So understand what they're dealing with, whoever they are. Could be a spouse, could be your kids, could be your coworker, could be those who work for you, could be your boss. Have you ever thought about like walking a mile in their shoes, thinking about their world? So doing unto others as they would want done, and being a great neighbor. So in the case of an Unreal Story, I got the privilege, it felt like Extreme Home Makeover. It was like Extreme Wheat Harvest Makeover. When you see a half mile of equipment coming towards you to serve your family, and all with no one wanted anything, no one would take anything. We fed them, I think, maybe, or we tried to, but they didn't do it for anything. They did it because they were good neighbors. So what is it and who is it in your life that you need to be a good neighbor to? Who is it that you need to, and if so, if you pick that person, start thinking about them, start looking at their picture, imagining, empathizing with what they need in this season, what's the support they need, what help they need, and then provide it and do it without wanting or asking for anything. The fulfillment of that is off the charts. So it's just another Unreal Story of, from my life of a leadership lesson. There's multiple lessons here. When everyone focuses and moves and gets things, you can get a lot done. One more correlation to that is Bronson Taylor, our CEO of Giant, has been doing such a good job of doing weekly sprints where he aligns everyone on HQ to knock something out in a week that would have taken a month or 6 weeks to get finished. So every week there's a focus, and then everyone puts their energy and time to it, and then it gets done. Then we go on to the next, then we go on to the next. It can work in a team. It can work maybe with your family to another family, or yourself to just being someone, just being a good neighbor to someone who needs it. So there you go. That's the Unreal Story for today, and hope it inspires you. Hopefully maybe it gets you to think about how you might want to be a leader worth following.
That's great, Jeremie. I love it. I think that's the first time I've had a lump in my throat when you've told one of your Unreal Stories, and it's probably because I know your dad, Mike, and he's an amazing man, and he's one of the hardest working people I know. And, I was thinking there's an element to being a great leader that is able to receive when it's your turn, because it's kind of hard for leaders who are used to giving out, meeting needs, to then be gracious in accepting when it's your turn.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it's great. I can't believe this is the only time you've had a lump in your throat, though. Man, all those other stories. No, I'm joking, Tracy. No, it's great. No, but it's fun, and it's another benefit of working with people that you love and like and appreciate, and watching my dad definitely is a leader worth following.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again. Another great story, and we appreciate all of you who've joined us on Facebook and LinkedIn, and of course the Giant platform. Keep coming back. There's a lot of stories in Jeremie's shelf of stories, so I can't wait to hear another. So thanks for joining us, everybody. Thank you, Jeremie.
Bye-bye.